Shields. So we will do our little birthday celebration today that we always do. In Julie's honor, we get to do a couple of push-ups today, work on our chaturangas. We will finish up with our work on Warrior 3. Today will be our last day. So I'm going to put in some more balancing poses throughout the whole practice today to give you one last little element that's really helpful with balance. And it's the practice of Drishti. So we're going to do some eye yoga today. Okay. So I'd love for you to all take a comfortable seat. Any kind of support that your body needs, find it. So beginning in a seated posture, we're actually going to start with just a couple of minutes of seated meditation. And that's always hard when we start a practice because our minds tend to be busy and our bodies kind of want to get moving. But I invite you to just drop in for a moment here. And that could mean closing your eyes. It could mean looking down. Finding a place for your hands where they don't feel fidgety, but they feel settled. And I'd like to read to you something from the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama. He talks about a scientifically controlled study that shows while the chest area of an average person emits about 20 photons of light per second, someone who meditates on their heart center and sends that love and light out to others emits an amazing 100,000 photons per second, 5,000 times more than the average human being. 5,000 times more than when we're not thinking about the space around our heart. He goes on to say, when these photons are infused with a loving and healing intention, their frequency and vibration increases to the point where they can literally change matter, heal disease, and transform negative events. Change matter, heal disease, and transform negative events. 10 minutes of meditating on compassion, kindness for others. You carry its effects with you all day. Maybe we could all think of something happening in the world right now. It's not a hard stretch. And send our heartfelt love and compassion and kindness to someone in need right now. Trusting that this simple act of meditating on our heart center can change matter, heal disease, and transform negative events. So all you have to do is breathe more deeply and more slowly, and picture the breath circling your heart. And then just visualize on the exhale that heart energy traveling out of you, filling up the space where you are right now, permeating the walls around you, reaching the next room, the next door neighbor, the people in your city, people around the globe. As you continue to take these deep breaths and feel the space around your heart, I invite you to see what you can see with your eyes closed. Any shapes, patterns, colors, movement. What is the view of the back of your eyelids? And we're going to start to work the tiny little muscles around our eyes. And so with eyes closed, on an inhale, imagine looking up into the crown of your head. And on an exhale, imagine looking down into your cheekbones. And just do that a few times. Inhale to let your eyes look up. And exhale down. And still behind closed eyes, on your inhale, let your eyes look towards your right ear. And on your exhale, let your eyes look towards your left ear. And do that a few times with your breath. And then let your chin fall to your chest. And as you do, blink your eyes open and settle your eyes on something close to you. It could be a part of your body. It could be the mat in front of you. Just one spot. Find something close. And then lift your gaze to see something as far away as you can in the space that you're in. What's the farthest point from you? Hold your eyes on that far point and get really focused and almost like strained to see that point more clearly. You might find that your eyes squint a little and your face tenses up. And now see what it feels like to just soften the gaze. Imagine just softening, still focusing on that faraway point, but eye muscles soft, almost like there's a filter over your eyes. That, my friends, is what we call Drishti, a focused, soft, steady gaze. And I'd like you to keep your eyes on that point as you bring your fingertips down to the floor on either side of you. Rotate the palms open, find expansion in your chest and shoulders, and then lift the arms up. And exhale, lower. Start to move with your breath, but let that point hold your full attention. And when you find your eyes straining on that point, blink softly and soften your focus. Take the arms up one more time, reach as high as you can, and then drop your right arm, lift your left. As your body starts to move, the eyes are still on that soft focal point. Breathing more deeply here because there's more room, there's more space to breathe into. Return to center. Exhale, left arm down, right arm up. Soft eyes, deep breath. And sweeping both arms up to center again. Let's bring the hands to the knees in front. And as we do, we'll round the spine. Now the eyes come down to look at the navel. You ever heard the term navel gazing? This is what we're doing here. So just looking down. On the inhale, pulling ourselves forward, seated cow. Look up as high as you can without straining your neck. Let's move with our breath. Gaze comes down and inward. Gaze comes upward. This is kind of a challenging practice for me because I tend to like closed eyes in yoga to come inward. When my eyes are open, I'm distracted by my surroundings. And so the discipline is to keep finding one point. Let your eyes settle on one point. And coming back to neutral, sweep the arms high. Find that focal point again that's far away from you. Maybe choose a new one. Soften your eyes, and then we'll twist to the right side. And as you do, you're going to look behind you as far as you can. What's the farthest point your eyes can see behind you? Inhale, center, reach tall. Exhale, twist left, looking for that farthest point. And making our way back to center. Roll the shoulders out a few times. You can blink your eyes. And then we'll come around to tabletop. We'll take our knees nice and wide, big toes close together, stretching the arms. Let's come down into child's pose. And here you can close your eyes and maybe look for a point inside of your forehead. We're just going to warm up here with a little flow, a little sequence of introducing birthday push-ups. So we're going to come forward, bring the knees in. Let's take one yogi push-up and then come back to child's pose. We'll just move here with our breath. And a yogi push-up is chaturanga. So as we come forward, we're spinning the crease of the elbow forward and we're lowering halfway down. Find a rhythm with your own breath. This doesn't have to be big either. You can do a 1-inch push-up if you're just starting to work on these. Just a tiny bend in the elbow is going to start building strength in your shoulders and triceps. We'll go one more time, and the next time we come back, let's tuck our toes and lift into downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, the Drishti traditionally is at the navel. But I find when I do that, it just creates a lot of tension in my neck and shoulders. So I tend to look just in front of my toes, maybe 6 or 8 inches. See if you can find a Drishti point here where your neck feels long and loose and your eyes can settle without any strain. Deepen and slow the breath. Maybe let out a sigh. And then looking forward, let's walk feet to our hands. Pressing to the shins for a half lift. And exhale, forward fold. With knees soft, sweep the arms up overhead, extended mountain. The gaze comes up toward the hands as they touch. And then we come to heart center. Rooting down through the feet, rise high, extended mountain. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, press, halfway lift. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Shifting forward onto our knees, let's spin those elbows again. And we're gonna do 10 more of those yogi flow push-ups. So we'll make it a little bit easier by adding in a child's pose in between our push-ups. Let this be a moving meditation. Each breath aware of what you're feeling in your body. And the core stays strong. Elbows spin forward. One more time, everybody. And as we come back, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Pedal your heels, shift your weight, let out another sigh. Bring your feet to your hands. Back bend here as eyes come up to meet the hands, and then hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. And come forward one more time, drop the knees. Yogi push-up flow. Don't worry, folks, she's only 50. These won't last forever. If you have pain in your shoulder or wrist, feel free to come forward on fists and just forward and back. Would be another interesting way to play with this flow. You don't have to do the push-ups, but you do need to stay with your breath. Got two more, friends. And this should have us good and warm. We'll come back into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a sigh out. Slowly walking the feet to meet the hands. Let's lift halfway. And exhale, forward fold. With a bend in our knees, we'll reach the arms high, the eyes look toward the hands, and hands to heart. Beautiful, everybody. And step your feet just a little bit wider and bring your hands onto your hips. We're gonna do a standing back bend. So rooting down through strong feet, pressing the glutes down away from the ribs. Lift your torso up and back as if you were going back over a high bar. Think of elbows in, collarbones wide, heart open. And here, standing in this place of strength for the back, softness for the front, can you take some of those deep breaths into your heart? 100,000 photons emitted from this heart space. Love, of compassion, of care and kindness. And come back to neutral standing. Step your feet a little wider still and reach your hands behind you. You can reach as if you were touching your fingers or interlace your hands, and then drive that chest open even more. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, let's bend our knees and fold in half. You can exaggerate the breath here. The chest is open. We're upside down. Breathe to feel the bottom of the lungs expanding, since they're now the top. And then with knees soft, scoop the arms down, come all the way up. We're going to circle the arms around in the widest chest expansion we can. Bend the knees, scoop down, and come up and around. So this is kind of like a wide chair, heart opener. One more time. And release the hands to the heart. Feet come closer together. Maybe hips distance apart. All right, take your eyes again to the point farthest away from you that you can find in your space. And shift your weight to your left foot and just pick up your right heel and then switch, keeping your eyes on that point. If there's a wall in front of you that you're looking at, imagine what it would be like to see through that wall. And with the soft eyes and a soft gaze, get a little taller and look through that surface. You start to pick up one knee and then slowly switch. And I'd like you to see if you can tell how Drishti is helpful in balancing postures. It's almost like you have a third limb holding you. Or I guess it would be a second limb. We'll go one more time on each side, just checking in with this first view of balance today. And then feet to floor. Take a nice deep breath, arms reach. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and exhale, step yourself back into downward facing dog. Let's take set number 4. Coming onto our knees, spinning our elbows, yogi push-up flow. We have 10 here. As you come back into these child's poses, can you feel stretch through your shoulders, your armpits, your upper back? Let this not only be about strength, let it be about space, light, opening. We have one more here. We're already to 40. Everybody tuck your toes, downward facing dog. All right, so right now your weight is equally distributed on 4 points. Bring the left foot to center and raise the right leg so that your weight is distributed on 3 points. We'll shift forward into plank pose. Let's drop that knee, right knee to the ground. And the left leg will come around into a kneeling lunge. And take your time here finding any padding for underneath your knees. Give yourself a little cushion there. Holding this pose, feeling the length happening in the hips. Let's tuck the back toes, and you don't have to, you can stay on the knee, but if you'd like, tuck the toes and come to a low lunge. Start to look at something ahead of your mat, maybe 1 or 2 feet. Just find a piece of carpet or something in the floor and let your drishti rest there. We're going to start to come on to our fingertips and lift our back leg, finding balance. So you're looking at a point that's close to you, and I want you to hold that point as you consider coming up a bit. So you could bring one hand to a shin or both, one hand to a thigh or both. So getting a little further away from that drishti point. You might bring hands to heart, float them at your sides, or reach them overhead. You're in warrior 3. Eyes softly resting on one point. Imagine that you could see through the floor. You're going to let your hands come down, soften the knee, step back into your low lunge. And let's rise up now into high lunge, arms up overhead, maybe a little wider stance to give you some stability. Fingers interlace, create a cradle for the back of your head. And just pressing back through that occipital ridge, the back of your skull, elbows wide, heart open. Breath slow and deep. Reach your fingers high. Let the hands come down to the ground. And step back again into downward facing dog. Shifting forward. This is our last set of birthday push-ups. We have 10. Adding in child's pose. And when we get to 10, just for fun, say out loud, happy birthday, Julie Bush. You make our world a better place. For 50 years, this planet has been a better place. Almost there, folks. Stay with me. This is our last one. When you're done, you get to tuck your toes and lift into downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Let's raise our left leg, shifting to 3 points of balance. And then as we come forward, the left knee comes to the ground. The right foot circles to the top of the mat. Take your time here. Find what support you need. Taking care of the knees. Any padding. And you can choose knee down or toes tucked. Just letting that hip flexor open and stretch. And let's begin to find our balance. So tucking the toes, stable through the right foot. Let's bring our fingers forward and we'll lift our back leg. Finding a point for Drishti. Straight in front of you, maybe slightly ahead. And you can stay right here and just work on the stability of this leg, really pressing down into the earth. Make your footprint deeper. If you'd like, you can try hand to shin or thigh or higher. Maintain that soft focus on one point. Releasing the hands, we'll step the foot back, downward facing dog. And now we've done plenty of little yogi push-ups, but if you'd like a vinyasa, go ahead and take one. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll slowly find our feet at the top of the mat. Let's lift halfway. And we'll sweep the arms all the way up. Bring hands to heart. Okay. So looking ahead of us again, find that Drishti point that's as far away from you as you can get it. Soften your eyes. And imagine seeing through that surface, that wall in front of you. Reach your left toes back. Keep your hands at heart center. We've done quite a bit of this. So reaching back to feel strong glutes. The hands are going to press into the heart. The heart lifts and we come into a little standing back bend. And this really is warrior three. We just haven't picked up the foot just yet. Find a drishti point above you. And then return to neutral. Find the drishti point in front of you and switch feet. Root down through the left, reach back through the right. And then slowly let your heart lift. Let your gaze come upward. And ease back to center, both feet on the floor. Stepping back again with our left foot, this time taking a warrior stance. It's a little more firm foundation in that back foot. We're going to lift the arms up, eyes set on that point in front of us. Keeping the eyes where they are, just let the arms and the heart move backward. Super strong foundation. Eyes softly focused on one point. Lifting up onto those toes. So now the pose should feel a little bit like where we just were. Eyes on that one point. See about finding balance. And you could stay here or begin to explore moving forward. Eyes stay forward on that point. Root down, engage, explore, and slowly come to mountain pose. Pause to feel the earth under you. Maybe close your eyes if you feel steady and stable here. Feel yourself coming back into your body, connected to the earth. These balancing poses stir some things up, don't they? So we'll keep our left foot where it is, step the right foot back, warrior stance. Inhale the arms up. And the eyes are forward now, straight ahead of you on that farthest away point. Arms slide backward. Really rooting down, especially through the back foot. Feel that stability. Imagine hugging your feet toward each other, engaging the muscles of your hips. And let's come on to the toes. So still really strong, lifting up out of the hips, eyes on that point ahead of you. You can stay here or explore the possibility of balance. And maybe that looks like this, just a toe touching. Try to keep your eyes forward on that one point, like the string of a tent connecting you here. And returning to center, hands in front of the heart. Pause again. Let things settle. Let things come back here. Release the arms, take a deep breath in. And on an exhale, sink your hips back, come back into a deep flowing chair. Reach up. Sink down. Slow, long, deep breaths. Let the chest expand. Let the legs support you. One more time. And this time, we'll fold all the way down into forward fold. Knees as bent as you like. Take your hands onto the backs of your legs and let the back of the legs lengthen, open, stretch. Crown of the head is reaching to the earth, sitting bones lifting to the sky. Space in the back of the body. Strength in the front of the body. And then let's let our hands come to the ground. We'll step back one final time into downward facing dog for anyone that wants one final vinyasa. And then we'll slowly lower the knees to the ground. Let's bring ourselves down to a prone position, down on our bellies. We're going to come into locust pose, which is more back strengthening. So arms are reaching down to the sides. Turn the palms to the ground. You're going to lift your arms behind you. And then let your torso lift up. You can keep your feet down or float the feet up. You might even enjoy interlacing your hands and opening more through the chest and shoulders. Deepen breath here. And then release one of your cheeks to the floor. Let your arms just rest to your side. Shake out your hips. And we'll bring ourselves up to our forearms. This is called Sphinx pose. We're going to do a fun little pose today called knot pose. And knot pose is a heart opener, but it's for the back of the heart. So we're going to take the left arm across the body underneath and the right arm across the top. The left arm is crossed under, the right arm is crossed over, and you can just walk your fingers as far as they will go. And you could just stay right there. There's a nice gentle stretch, kind of not gentle, but stretch in your upper back. If you'd like a little more sensation or a lot more, tuck your toes and wiggle your body forward so you can hang your head down or touch your head to the floor. Once you get to your stopping point, employ the breath. Bring breath fiercely into those tight spaces in your upper back, like a strong wind, just sweeping out those tight places. Let the wind of your breath just loosen those rusty hinges back there. Create some space. And slowly come out of this pose. Turn your head to the opposite side. Let your arms again rest to your sides. Coming back up to center, find that Sphinx pose again. And this time, the right arm goes on top or in front of the left arm. And we do have to do both because there's a little different action in each of our shoulders here. So again, you could stay at this first stopping point. You could tiptoe forward. Another trick is you could use a block under your forehead. This pose is intentionally uncomfortable, but shouldn't be sharp or painful. This pose is designed to help us get into the back of the heart, the place where we forget in places where we get stuck. We forget that we are beings of love. We are born for compassion. We are here to forgive, to move on, to give grace. We forget. We hold all that back here. So let those strong winds of your breath blow through those shadowy places, creating a little more lightness. With your next exhale, slowly wiggle your way out of this. Take your arms out into a T, the opposite. We're just going to pick one knee up and roll over. So now you're stretching the front of your shoulder. It should feel like the exact opposite of where you just were. And going the other way. And the opposite knee, and just roll over to stretch the front of that back shoulder. Your breath is still long and slow and deep. And from here, we'll return to neutral and we'll just bring ourselves up to a tabletop position. Even 4 legs of the table and the eyes looking straight down between the thumbs. One more balancing posture here. Setting that drishti straight down, one arm forward, one arm back. Imagine looking right through the floor to whatever is below it. Softening the muscles behind the eyes. Letting the drishti be like another leg to your table. Switch sides. Easy reach. Eyes focused. Let your arm reach long out of the shoulder. It's done a lot of stretching. If you can just find a little more space. And release. Bring yourself around to a seat. We're just going to come right down onto our backs now. Knees come in toward the body. Take a hold of the shins or the back of the legs and just give yourself a massage. Side to side. Circles top to bottom. We're going to come into a nice little twist here. So you can place your feet on the floor, arms again open, and now they should feel like they can just rest on the floor. You're going to just shift over to the right a bit and then drop your knees to the left. Shift to the right, drop your knees to the left, and then turn your head right. You can close your eyes now if you'd like and just set your gaze inward. You can keep your mind present by just letting your eyes still seek for something to see behind closed eyelids, patterns, colors, light. Drawing breath into the deepest parts of your body, the belly, low back. Exhale just as long, just as slow. And returning to center. From neutral, just shift your weight over to the left a bit, allowing your hips to drop right. And turn your head to look at your back arm. Slow, deliberate breath deep into your body. Easing ourselves back into center. Let's draw the knees in one more time and we'll extend the legs up. Just flexing and pointing the feet, circling the ankles, taking this little inversion, reversing circulation. And then when you're ready, let the feet touch the floor and slide out into Shavasana. Settling your shoulders underneath you, turning palms up. We'll just be here for a couple of minutes and then we'll end our practice with seated meditation. So let this be a time of stillness for you, of slowing down, of coming inward. Of observing a body at rest. Take another long, slow, and deep breath that fills your whole body. And let the exhale be just as long, just as slow. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a long stretch with a yawn. And begin the journey back to where we started in a seat. As you come to this seat, I invite you to place your left hand over your heart. And if you like, you can slide your right hand up behind you so the back of your hand comes to the back of your lungs, the back of your heart. So you're kind of cradling your own heart here between your hands. Take a moment to feel your own heartbeat between your hands, your breath, your aliveness, the energy here around your heart. And as if you were looking in a mirror right now, just repeat these words to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free from harm. And may my heart know loving kindness. Let's all extend this metta wish to our friend Julie today. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from harm. May your heart be filled with loving kindness. Let's extend this metta to the people in Ukraine. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from harm. May your hearts know loving kindness. We extend this metta to the people in Russia, all of them, even their leaders. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from harm. May your hearts know loving kindness. Hands come together in front of us in a gesture of gratitude. May all beings everywhere be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all be free from harm. And may our hearts know loving kindness. I bow to each of you. Thank you so much for being present today for this practice. Namaste. And now let's just open our arms out and just send all of that love and compassion and loving kindness out to the world.